Judge, going into what, fourth term?
Sixth.
Sixth? Okay, sixth term. So we'll give you about 5 minutes to kind of lay out your case. If you don't need that much time, then we'll open up the questions for that.
Great.
Certainly.
Thank you all for the invitation. I just started my 20th year. I'm just about to learn the job, by the way. It's been probably one of the highlights of my life has been able to be a county judge of my home county here in Montgomery County. It's been a challenge. It's been a lot of fun, and I would say it's probably the highlight of my life so far. Anyway, I am from here. I went to Conroe High School. I graduated from the University of Texas with a degree in finance in 1971. After I was in college, I was a banker in downtown Houston for about 12 years. I ended my banking career there in the mid-'80s to move my family back to Montgomery County. When I left the banking industry, I was in charge of a major department of about 28 people. We had about $2 billion in loans. This was a downtown bank in Houston, and really great learning experience in business, bonds, finance. It was a great 12 years of experience in general business. A great way to learn to be a county judge. And as you all know, a county judge is the person that runs the business of the county. It's not judicial in nature. I deal with the money, the taxes, the fees, the fines, and set the agenda for the Commissioner's Court. And really what I'm running for again, I was considering retirement because there were some things I wanted to do, but I got talked out of it. And I'm fired up to do another 4 years. And I'll tell you why I want to do another 4 years. It's pretty simple. Number one, the reason I ran in the first place, I started doing this when I was 39 years old. It was about taxes. I was put on a committee to study the efficiencies of county government, how to make it more efficient, how to make it run better. After I got through that experience for 2 years in the late 80s, I thought, heck, I'm going to do it. I can do better than these guys are doing it. I ran on low taxes then. I'm running on low taxes today. Now the challenge we have every day is keeping up with the tremendous growth we have. When I first ran for county judge, we were 180,000 people. Today we are pushing 500,000 people. This is a dynamic county with a lot of challenges. So the budget will grow, it has to grow to keep up with the growth. And probably the biggest challenge we have is how do we pay for transportation? It's the most expensive thing we do, and it also takes up the most tax dollars. That's probably our number one challenge. Law enforcement has probably grown as fast as any part of our budget. This next term, if I could have it said in a couple of words, would be quality of life. We've got to maintain our quality of life, but we also have to learn how to pay for it and keep our taxes in check. That's the reason I'm running again. And that's the short story. So many of the projects we have done lately, for example, the new jail complex, we're paying for that with federal inmate money, not your tax monies. By the time we need that new jail that we built, it should be mostly paid for by federal money, not your local tax dollars. So we will have basically a free jail to utilize for county inmates by the time we need that new jail facility. We're also building a psychiatric jail facility. One of the biggest tragedies we have out there at our jail right now, so many of the inmates that come in out there really are not criminals. They're people that need psychiatric treatment. So many of the state prisoners we have at our jail that we're taking care of on behalf of the state need psychiatric help. We're going to be building a facility out of our jail complex that takes care of these psychiatric patients and paid for primarily with contracts with the state system, the state prison system, to pay for that facility. By the time we need that in great numbers, which will be years and years from now, we should have that paid for again with state money. 1 minute to go. That's all I have right now, gentlemen, Paul. So, y'all can start your questions.
Open it for questions then. We'll start here.
Yes, sir.
What's the size of your budget and how much debt does the county have?
The debt is, I don't have the numbers, the budget in front of me. We're probably $450 million in debt, total long-term debt. One good news about our debt, we don't go past about 23 or 24 years max. Some counties go out 30 and 40 years. We don't choose to do that. If we have an emergency here in this county, if we have a catastrophic event where we have to, where like all our buildings are destroyed from a hurricane or a tornado, we can go out and borrow the money without getting taxed to the taxpayers a catastrophic amount to rebuild county government. We have a very conservative debt structure in county government.
And then the yearly budget is so much?
About $225 million, roughly.
You said that your top 3 priorities were limited tax, transportation, and quality of life. And then you said here that transportation, in your opinion, was the top issue. And I wonder what's the percentage of transportation being the worst thing in our county as opposed to illegal immigrants? Because I'm thinking illegal immigrants would be like way up here. That's affecting my quality of life. What you think?
It's a good question. But your question, when I deal with issues, I have very specific categories. I have law enforcement, which is a category. I have transportation as a category. The only medical I pay, for example, out of county tax dollars is I pay the rent on the UTMB clinic over there. I privatized that when I first came in office and saved the county $300,000 a year by privatizing our health department. We don't need to have a health department when we have a hospital district that can do it better than we can. So what I'm saying is, when you talk about illegal immigrants, it's a transportation issue, it's a crime issue, it's a health issue, it's a school issue, it's an education issue, it's the whole gambit. What I deal in is basically transportation and law enforcement in the context you're talking about of illegal immigrants. We have put, when I took office, by the way, our sheriff's budget was about $8 million. Today, it's $48 million. We've increased law enforcement to make this county as crime-free as we can be, being a county this close to Harris County. By the way, I know y'all have all read about the kick burglaries in South County. This is the first time that I have seen in my lifetime an increase in violent crime in Montgomery County just in the last half of 2009, because we have increased that budget from $8 million to $48 million. So that's the part that I can answer specifically, is what I've done monetarily to law enforcement and monetarily for transportation.
Brian?
In question number 12, it was, is welfare of the appropriate role of county government? You said yes, but it's very limited to existing agencies. Can you explain what you mean there, and can you explain what kind of welfare is appropriate for the county to pay for and what's not?
Okay. That's a very good question. Let me tell you about welfare in Montgomery County. We don't really have a welfare department in Montgomery County government. What we do, though, is we fund partially Montgomery County Youth Services. We fund partially the Friendship Center. We fund partially the Montgomery County Fairway Home that takes care of sexually abused children here versus having to transport them down to Bentop Hospital, go through the trauma, and go through that experience, then back up here. That's the kind of welfare we fund, is to the agencies, Brian.
Well, my question wasn't what do we do, what should we do, and what should we not do?
I think we're doing what we should do right now. How we're funding it, which is to the agencies not having a Montgomery County Welfare Department. Yes.
You mentioned the health department. Do you oversee the health department?
We don't have a health department.
I know. I know. I thought you said that you have something on the health department.
We privatized it. University of Texas Medical Branch, UTMB, took over that.
Okay, well, I called them because of a lot of illegal immigrants are slapping a trailer on a piece of property and they don't